The next feature I'd like to discuss is how you can use Edmodo to assess your students' knowledge. Edmodo has a feature that allows you to create quizzes to assess a student's knowledge over a unit or topic that you have introduced in class. What you'll want to do is click on the link that says quiz from your group page, and you will have the option of creating a quiz or loading a previously created quiz. As with assignments, Edmodo will save any previously created quizzes that you have made. So if you can see, I've created several quizzes for my classes, and if I needed to, I could just reload one of these quizzes and make edit to the questions if I wanted to. But for this example, I'm going to create a new quiz so I can show you the different features that are available to you. The first thing you'll want to do is name your quiz. So this will just be called Sample Edmodo Quiz. And your default, if there's an existing title, it'll actually ask you for a different title. The default time limit is 60 minutes, so if you want to limit the amount of time that your students have for the quiz, you can change this, or you can stay with the default of 60 minutes. Again, this is entirely up to you. You can make this smaller, or less time, or more time, depending on how you feel about your students using Edmodo for taking the quiz. Under the About This Quiz section, here you will write an introduction or an explanation of what the quiz is covering, and this message will be seen by your students. So I'll just write a brief message here. And then you do have the option of showing students their results and also randomizing questions. I personally like to choose the randomizing questions option because sometimes students like to discuss quizzes with one another, and rather than letting a student know, or rather having a student show you their true knowledge, sometimes they're just getting the answer from their partner. So when you randomize the questions, you kind of prevent that from happening because not all the questions will be in the same order for every student. Within your question type, you have a couple of different options. You can choose a multiple choice, true, false, a short answer, a fill in the blank, or a matching question. Edmodo will automatically grade multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, and matching questions for you because it's going to prompt you for the correct response. However, short answer questions will have to be graded by you once they are submitted. So I'm going to start off with a multiple choice question, and we'll just come up with a very basic question. So let's see. I'll come up with a couple of different answer choices. And then I'll want to set my correct answer. The other thing that you'll need to change is the point value assigned for the particular question. Edmodo does not automatically determine what each question should have a point value of. You'll have to assign that point value. So for example, let's say you want one question to be worth 15 points, but another question should only be worth 5. You'll have to determine that, or you'll have to calculate what each question's point value will be within the quiz. So we'll make this question worth 15 points. The next feature that I want to show you is you do have the option of attaching links to a question, which will make the students, or which will require the students to actually go out to an external website to read the link, or you can attach images from your library. And I'll show you an example of that in just a second. So here we're going to have a short answer question. And we'll make this question worth 10 points. So here, what I'm going to do is have the students take a look at a picture, and this will be their question. They'll be viewing a picture, and then they'll answer how many individuals are shown in the picture. True and false question. And then I can set the answer for true or false. And then I can have a fill in the blank. And I'll change this to fill in the blank. And then I can make a multiple fill in the blank question. So I'll show you an example. So I'm going to have two. Whenever we make a mistake, we always have the option of removing the question. So, I'm sorry, I want fill in the blank. So, okay. Now, whenever you have a fill in the blank question, it is important that students write the answer exactly as you have in the answer key. So in this case, I'm capitalizing the M in Mississippi. If a student does not capitalize the M, it'll mark the answer incorrect. And then And so here, what I was trying to do earlier is determine every question will be worth 5 points. So there's a total possible points of 10. And then there is a matching option. So for example, I could choose vocabulary words, and then have the students will actually have to match definitions to words. So I'm just coming up with some very general definitions and examples. So I've created my quiz, and now I have the option of previewing my quiz. So when my students take the quiz, this is what they will see. And they will be shown that there's a time limit of 30 minutes, and there's a total of 5 questions. I will start my quiz. And as the student goes through, they will answer questions. They also, it'll show them how many questions are completed and how much time is left. They also have the option of skipping questions. So if they wanted to skip that question and come back to it, they could go ahead and do that. And here I'm going to show you what I mean by not capitalizing or not writing the answers exactly as I have indicated in the answer key. So for matching, I would move my definitions to match it next to my word. And I also realized that a verb does not describe an adjective. I meant to type an action, but I was typing rather quickly. I'll go back to question number 2, which I've left unanswered. And here I've included a picture. So I'll click on preview. And in this case, students would have to answer answer. And then I'm ready to submit my quiz, so I'll click on Submit Quiz. It'll ask the student if they want to end the quiz. The student will say yes or no. And then it'll let them know that they completed 5 out of 5 questions. It'll let the student, it'll ask the student for a rating of what the type of the question, and it'll show them the results. You'll see that here there's 33 out of 43 total points, and it'll let them know that the one question is not graded. So here the student can see if they got the answer correct. This is the open-ended response question that the teacher will have to come back and grade. So once I have graded that question, then it'll change the points to 43. And then here the answer is correct. Perhaps, I guess, it doesn't really look at capitalization. I think it looks more for spelling. So I guess in this case it does not take off for capitalization. That was my mistake. I thought it did. And then here it has the matching. So that is a quick overview of what the quiz will look like when students take it. Another option that you have is you can print the quiz. So if you have a student that maybe needs oral administration of all exams as part of their IEP, you could print this out for them, and then they could take the paper on, take the exam with pencil and paper. Or if you wanted to include a copy of this in a portfolio, or for your records, if you were having a parent conference, you could choose to print this out, and it would show you the actual quiz options, and it would show you what the quiz looked like. Once you're ready to assign your quiz, you will click on the Assign Quiz button. You'll set a due date for the quiz. We'll make this quiz due today. You do have the option of adding it to the gradebook, which will basically record all of the grades for you within the Edmodo gradebook, so you can go back and reference them. And then you can determine when you want to schedule a quiz. Now, usually what I do, as I'm making lesson plans and working on Edmodo over the weekend or in the evenings or during planning time, I'll schedule these quizzes so that they don't show up before the actual class. So I could schedule this to show up today at 2:30. I'm sorry, not half hour, at 2 o'clock. And then I'm going to send this to the Learning Technology group. And then I'll submit send. Now, what you'll notice is that it is not posted, but I can go under my notifications, and I can see that I have 2 scheduled posts here. And it'll show me all the different quizzes that I have scheduled to post, and the dates and times that they will be posting. And that is an overview of how to create quizzes in Edmodo.